As summer winds down and people start new routines, lifestyle expert Pay Chen has ideas for making the transition easier. And how do we obviously ensure how we're going to be eating healthy is one of the first steps. Pay, so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. And you're absolutely right. September means for a lot of people either going back to or perhaps starting
Yes.
a routine that makes your life just a little more hectic. And one of the things I always hear from people is, I don't have time to make breakfast.
Oh yeah,
And
big time. People skip it just completely.
Yes, and especially for people like you who have really early mornings as
Sure.
well. So I love to go back to one of my favorite no-cook, easy breakfast or snacks that you can keep in the fridge, and it really is grab and go. So there was a survey done recently that found that Ontario parents, not surprisingly, are concerned about their kids getting the nutrients they need when they start their day. So one of my favorites is overnight oats.
Yes.
And sometimes I forget about it and then I go back to it. And the ratio is really simple. So people always message me and say, like, what was the recipe? All you have to remember is 1 to 1. So that is your ratio of oats to milk. I always like to make 2. So I do 2 cups of oats to 2 cups of milk. I put it into the container with a lid so that I can actually just grab and go. So I love using mason jars or whatever container you might have. Stir it up, add the sweetener of your choice. So if you like a little bit of maple syrup, if you like a little bit of honey, and then the rest is up to you to customize. Fresh fruit, dried fruit. You can use nuts, seeds. I also love chia seeds. I love the texture of them.
Me too. Me too.
I absolutely love. So I love to mix in like a tablespoon with my overnight oats as well.
Yes.
And this is great for the kids because you can let them customize. There's no cooking involved. Pop it into the fridge, and then you really do have something nutritious to grab and go. So a lot of parents who do want those easy recipes and ways to ensure that their kids are getting something nutritious. 1 glass of milk has 15 essential nutrients, including zinc, which I think is really important as we head into the colder, drier weather for our skin. And there's lots of great ways to support Ontario dairy farmers. So you're looking at your milk, your cheese, your yogurts, lots of great recipes. So milk.org if you want to find other inspiration. But this for me is like the easiest way to have breakfast in the morning.
I'm like you. I do it for a while and then I get away from it, but it really is fantastic. As you say, with kids, you could do even some chocolate chips and some banana, throw in some nuts, and then it makes them a little bit more interested. But there's lots of options there, so good one.
And it's great because it helps fill them up for the day because you're getting something nutritious into them. So something else I wanted to mention when you're planning your breakfast, your snacks, or any meal is a company that I think you're probably very familiar with, but you don't know that you are. So Bimbo Canada is Canada's largest and oldest commercial bakery. They've been feeding Canadians nutritious food for over 100 years. And you might be thinking, like, I'm not so sure I'm familiar with this name.
Right,
they have they have 18 brands. So that includes Villaggio, Dempster's, Stone Mill. So these are the breads that you would see very much at your local grocery store. They've been producing high quality and affordable foods with really nutritious, great simple ingredients. So a lovely Canadian company, and sustainability is really important to them, which is why I'm a big supporter. So they've been making a lot of efforts as a company to be more sustainable. And that includes, they've earned their first Energy Star certification for their Hamilton bakery earlier this year. So they're making those changes and reducing waste. And I think that's something we can all get on board with, especially with a Canadian company.
Absolutely. And now, I was surprised to see on your list that you included wine. Maybe I wasn't so surprised, Pay.
Well, I'm keeping it local, but I'm also like, you know what? It is a hectic time of year, Leslie. We all deserve a little break. So as we're winding down the summer days and then getting into fall, I wanted to feature local Ontario wine. So there's a program at the LCBO called For the Love of Local. They're celebrating wines that are grown and produced in the province. They've got more than 400 wines available, and they're actually the largest purveyor of VQA wines. So the program spotlights 4 winemaking regions: Niagara-on-the-Lake, the Niagara Escarpment, Lake Erie in the North Shore, and Prince Edward County. They also have they've curated tips and recommendations from people who live in each region, so that you know that you're getting something like the really hot tips from someone who lives there.
Nice
so
idea.
Here I have, it's great. So here I have the Speck Brothers Family Tree, the Goat Lady Chardonnay. Now this is from Henry of Pelham Family Estates. I love the name.
Me too.
The Goat Lady. It's named after Marion, who kept goats. I love this. Who kept goats next to the vineyard when the Speck brothers were children.
Oh,
and like,
cute.
imagine making such an impact on the children that as they get older and they have their own winery, they're like, remember the Goat Lady?
Isn't that great? That's what's so great about wine. There's always a story, right? There's so much more to it. All right, before we wrap,
nice to have that local connection.
Absolutely. Before we wrap, you wanted to mention a hand sanitizer. Of course, we all have a bottle somewhere on us at all times.
Yep. And I will mention too, if you want to find the local recommendations, lcbo.com.
Okay, perfect.
So Dom is a Toronto company. They created these beautiful hand sanitizers. So they wanted to bridge the gap between medical and cosmetic. They're organic, vegan. They have recycled packaging. What I love about this, Leslie, is that we all have bottles of hand sanitizer. So there's a smaller one to pop into your purse or your backpack. The larger one you might keep, on your counter in the kitchen, maybe when people come over. So they've got the rosemary, the lavender, great for back to school or back to work, and a nice local company to support that just has made something really beautiful that we all use all the time.
Beautiful. I love that. Yeah, and we're all going to continue to need and using it for probably the rest of our lives. So thank you so much, Pay Chen. We will connect you to all of your socials, of course, so everybody can go on to chch.com for more and some great tips as always. That's it for now. More Morning Live tomorrow.